Hey guys, MCU Collector here with a new video, and here we have the fan channel exclusive Hasbro Marvel Legends series Hydra 2-pack of the Hydra Supreme ARNIM ZOLA, or Supreme Captain America, or Captain America, however you want to call it. I'm going to be talking about this figure a little bit in this review because there's a lot of questions as to what is going on with this figure. Who is he exactly? Civil Warrior? Is it Captain America? What's going on? So I've done a little bit of research. I'm going to do a little bit more to really figure out what the heck is going on with this version of Captain America. So pretty interesting. But I love the package design. Now, one weird thing is we didn't get official image in-package images or out-of-box images for this 2-pack yet. We had the first original promo images, which is on the back of the box, but we didn't get other images like we normally get for figures. It's kind of weird, and all of a sudden Entertainment Earth is like, boom, in stock, hot off the truck. Put in your order, and it's still in stock. I'll include a link to purchase down in the description below. So it kind of came out of nowhere. We were expecting it in March. Even Robot Kingdom says March, so it was pretty wild, but very happy to have it. As you can see here, we get two figures. You get the Hydra Supreme and the ARNIM ZOLA. Now, this is very similar to the Build-A-Figure that was previously released years ago, but there are some differences, and unfortunately, I can't do a comparison because I actually sold my Build-A-Figure just a couple of weeks ago, so unfortunately I can't do a comparison, but I'll tell you what the differences are as we get to it, and then a couple of accessories which are an additional ARNIM ZOLA interchangeable head, and then the remote for it, and I don't actually know what that remote's for, so I'm going to actually research that as well. So pretty cool looking package. You can see the Hydra logo down in front. It says Hydra Supreme, ARNIM ZOLA. On the side, you get great artwork of the Supreme Captain America, looking pretty awesome with another Hydra logo down there. On the other side, you get awesome artwork of ARNIM ZOLA, very colorful, so I really like how that stands out. The back of the package here is the original image that we got of this 2-pack, and that was the only thing that we got of this 2-pack, the only image, so pretty cool to see that. Let's take a look at that bio. Okay, the bio reads, a clandestine ally of Hydra, Supreme Leader Captain America reveals his true allegiances and joins forces with ARNIM ZOLA to bring Hydra to a position of dominant world power. Pretty interesting. Evil Captain America. I know this was a storyline from a couple of years ago that people either really enjoyed or really didn't enjoy. I'm not sure there. But there is UPC. Not sure if that's going to help because it is a fan channel exclusive. I'm not sure which locations will even be having this guy. But GameStops were taking pre-orders, so GameStops will probably be the only actual physical store besides any local comic shops that will have this for you to purchase. So there's a close-up look at that Hydra Supreme, excuse me, and then the ARNIM ZOLA. Let's open it up and take a look at this 2-pack. Alright guys, so here are the two figures out of the package. So pretty cool, and I really do like these and some designs, and they're pretty interesting figures, especially in reading it. Now, I kind of do wish I would have gone back and had read the entire story arc to really get a feel for what's going on, but I'll really try to explain what's going on with this Captain America at least a little bit. So this is a Hydra version of Captain America. So everyone was in a big uproar when, you know, Captain America turned young again, a new series had started, and then at the end of the page his last words were "Hail Hydra," and everyone freaked out saying that, you know, this entire time Captain America has really been a sleeper agent for Hydra, which in a way was true, but it wasn't the original Captain America. He was actually replaced by an alternate reality version of Captain America in which he was indoctrinated into Hydra at a very young age, and so he believes Hydra to be the good guys. So there's a lot more complications to it. The Cosmic Cube had a sentient form of a little girl, all this and that, so on and so forth. So this is a version of Steve Rogers' Captain America, but not the normal universe Steve Rogers. There was a final battle scene between Hydra Supreme and Captain America. This is my favorite Captain America figure, by the way, the Marvel Now Mandroid Wave. So I just thought I'd throw that one in there. So that was actually pretty cool, and it involved Mjolnir and who was worthy, and Hydra was never good, so Hydra, he couldn't pick up Mjolnir. All this and that, pretty interesting. Now, ARNIM ZOLA, one thing that I did read is this remote controls, he uses it to control some of his creatures or whatever things that he creates, kind of thing. You know, similar with the head and some different things. But anyway, first thing I want to talk about on these figures is the reused parts. So we know that Hasbro does this. It's not anything new. It happens all the time. So the ARNIM ZOLA figure is basically a reissue of the previous Build-A-Figure from years ago. The differences are the color, of course. So the screen, the picture they're using for ARNIM ZOLA's face is different. He has a new head, but it actually comes with the original head. Obviously, the paint scheme is different, and the arms are actually different. Now, I didn't actually notice that at first. Someone on Instagram had pointed that out because I just, for whatever reason, assumed they were the same, but they're actually not. This one uses the same arms that we got with Colossus and that we also got with Death's head. I believe has the same exact arms, so those are reused as well. So no new parts there. The only thing that's new on ARNIM ZOLA, again, is going to be the head and the face. Now this Hydra Supreme figure, and I could have sworn that these upper legs were reused from a different figure, but I cannot seem to figure out which figure, so those might be new. Now the entire torso piece is new because that is a brand new sculpt and design and everything for Captain America. We get a new shield. The arms, however, are the same arms from like the Taskmaster figure that the Night Thrasher figure just used, the same with the lower legs. And then the head sculpt is the same, and then the hands are the same hands that were used, excuse the sirens, the same hands that were used for Iron Man. They're Iron Man hands, and I don't know how many figures use those same hands, but I do know that the Guardians of the Galaxy Groot Wave Iron Man has the same exact hands, as you can see there, and then the same fists. So that's why Iron Man is there, because they are the same hands. So let's go over the articulation real quick, and then we'll get a closer look at these figures. So we'll go over the Hydra Supreme. So his head can look all the way down. That's great. Can look all the way up, and you can get some shifting in that ball peg there. There's a little bit of pivot in the head, and then obviously full rotation there. The arms can go up that high because these shoulders are actually kind of small for this opening. This is all armor, so it's going to be a little bit bigger anyway, so I'm okay with how that ends up looking. So you get a full rotation, of course. There's the upper bicep swivel. You get a double jointed elbow, which works out pretty great. You get a waist swivel in there. Forgot to mention the hands are hinged, by the way. Now, as far as the ab crunch, there's not a whole lot of ab crunch. There's no ratcheting really in it. You can kind of feel, but you're not going to get those loud clicks. So he can look back that much, which is pretty far, and then you get this flat space there. So not obviously that's not natural, and you're not really going to be doing that. He can crunch down only that much, so not a whole lot, but a decent amount. His legs go apart that much, so that's actually pretty good. You get an upper thigh cut there, double jointed knee, which works out perfectly. Oh, and then you get a crazy ankle pivot, and then you got to work that ball, and you can hinge it up, hinge it down. So that's great movement there for the Hydra Supreme figure. ARNIM ZOLA is a little bit more limited. His head can turn to the side. There's a ball peg there with a hinge, but you're really not going to get a whole lot of hinge movement in that head. It's just going to kind of sit there, and what I don't like is it almost kind of points down, and you know, for a shorter figure, that's not... But I guess, you know, I don't know if the face, I don't know exactly how it works, but that's kind of weird to me. The arms can go up that far. You get full rotation there. Upper bicep swivel. Only a single jointed elbow on this guy, so pretty limited. So you're going to get that much in the arm, and that's it. So not a whole lot there. There's no ab crunch of this figure. There is a waist swivel. The legs do come out quite far apart. Now this piece here hinges it a little bit, but you can force it a little bit on there. Upper thigh cut, because of course this was a Build-A-Figure, so those legs did separate at that point. You get a double jointed knee there, which gives you about 90 degrees, not a whole lot. You get a boot swivel there. You get a nice ankle pivot, and then the feet hinge all the way down and then up just a tiny bit, and mine are pretty stiff, so you might want to warm yours up when trying to work and pose your figure when you get yours. So that is the articulation. Now let's take a closer look at both of these figures. We'll start with the Hydra Supreme, since he's kind of the interesting and newer figure that we got out of this 2-pack. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the Hydra Supreme, or Supreme Captain America, even Civil Warrior if you want to go with that, but this is in the Hydra colors, whereas the Civil Warrior suit of armor, I guess, is red and blue. I'm a little confused by it too, but it is what it is. So here it is, looking pretty awesome. So this is a new head sculpt, so you can see the design. It's really got the Captain America look to it. However, it's kind of like an Iron Man armor that Steve Rogers had used. He had found some pieces in the Stark lab after Tony Stark died, after their battle of Civil War. I guess this is from the alternate universe. So he used some of those parts to help create this armor. So that's the look there. Now, lots of times you're going to see that this faceplate isn't all the way down and his half face is exposed. And that's actually, you know, on the back, on the side artwork. Oh, you can't see it. But on that side artwork, you actually see where his face is exposed. But unfortunately, that's not the head sculpt that we got. That would have been a great head sculpt, but I'm sure some people will be able to customize their own. So I went ahead and tried a couple of different things. So I'm going to pop this head off, and let's say the Hydra 2-pack, because it's already got the helmeted head. So it fits. You got to kind of force it. It's not a great fit, but that head is just too big and looks weird. So then I tried, well, how about a Captain America head? So the Marvel Now Captain America, this thing is too small and doesn't look right. So say you got the other Captain America, so it's either, you got the, I don't know if it was the Secret War, which one this was called. This is from the Civil War wave, Captain America, or even the Cap Wolf Captain America, if you want to use that head. The size works. It fits on the ball peg for the most part, but then obviously you would have to get some painting to give it a good look. And that actually kind of works, but then you don't have that helmeted look that this thing is supposed to have. So there it is. So most of this figure is done in a either gold plastic that you see, or green plastic like in the legs. But the green that they used for the head is really nice. I really like the way it looks. It's got like a little sparkle to it. It's probably hard to see on camera, but it has a nice metallic look to it. So you see that in the chest and you see that in the head, and it comes out looking really good. You got yellow for the eyes. Those are done nice and clean. The silver A there is done nice and clean as well. The star is just done in almost like a light blue, almost like giving it that arc reactor color look where it's kind of shining but kind of not. So you don't want to just clear like a white color. So it's got a little blue hue to it. And I like the way that came out. Now the torso is an all new piece, so it's got some pretty interesting sculpt to it. Now it's a little bit bigger because, again, it is an armor, so it makes sense that it's a little bit bigger. You got some yellow in there. The belt is a reuse from the belt with the Marvel Now Captain America. We've seen it before. Pretty interesting. The back is pretty cool. You get all this design and sculpt into it, and then you get some paint. So they even added that green metallic paint on the back here, which is a nice touch. And then we get this texturing throughout, you know, almost like the scale mail armor there. So that's pretty cool. And then the lower legs are all kind of textured, and I really like the way those look. And again, I could have sworn these were used for a previous figure, but I just can't put my finger on it. I thought it was used for previous Captain America figures. If you guys know, let me know down in the comments below. It's going to bug me. You get a little bit of brown for the line work in there, but the texture does look really good on that. Now, one thing I didn't go over too much as far were the accessories. So he comes with the shield. So this was the different shield that's shaped differently. This section does not come off. I believe in the comics he actually breaks it. He can break it down into two pieces. It is one solid piece, so it's not anything else there. It just has that gold plastic with some of that green paint in there, and then the star is painted yellow, and for the most part it's pretty clean. Now it has the same feature as the previous Captain America shields that we've always gotten. So it has the same clip and then peg system with all the other shields. Now, one thing with this one is there's no peg hole in the back, so you're not going to be plugging in the shield into the back of the figure. And he doesn't have opening hands, so he's not going to hold the shield using that, so you're going to have to use this wrist clip, which I'm not the biggest fan of because you want to be careful not to break that, but you can just clip it onto his... Oops. Did I break it? I did not break it, but be careful. You can just clip it on. I did break it. Son of a... Man, that's gonna... So, don't do what I did. Be very careful because you're going to end up breaking that peg. Anyway, that thing would just hold in... Oh, man, that's going to drive me crazy. That sucks. So, good thing you guys are watching this review. Don't do what I did. So, it would just normally clip on there, and you do want to be a little bit careful because some parts of the arm can be a little bit larger. So, right at the wrist where it's at its narrowest point is when you want to put that on there. The hands have a little brown into them, and then you got a little yellow arc reactor because he does have those blast effects. Ah, man. Anyway, let's go on to ARNIM ZOLA. So Zola, you can see here. Let's just, you know what? Let's cut the video and go to another section. Sorry about that, guys. I just got a little flustered with breaking the shield. Anyway, I just completely knocked the peg off. Dang it. Even worse now. Anyway, so here with the ARNIM ZOLA figure, I know I'm not actually showing his face because it's down here. It's such a kind of a short figure, but I wanted to highlight the head sculpt on here. Now, at San Diego Comic-Con during the Hasbro panel, which I got to attend, which was pretty awesome, one of my goals, and I got to do that last year. Thanks, Eric, if you're watching. They showed off the head shape of the head as one of the upcoming figures before they fully announced this, and I don't remember exactly when they did announce this 2-pack, but it was shortly after that. So one really cool thing, some interesting color choices here with the purple and the baby blue, but on the head it comes to a ball here, and then there's a little bit of black and red. Now it looks like the way they painted it on, it looks like, you know, something is opening up. So that's pretty cool, and I really like the way that looks. Now the head, you're just going to get some movement on the head there. Again, that hinge doesn't seem to work out too great, and then you can just pop this off. And most of it's just done in a kind of a soft rubbery plastic, and no big deal there. Now the alternate head, just like the previous one, you just pop on to that peg, and it doesn't want to do it like so, and then you can see you actually can get full use of that hinged head, because then you can get him to look down. So it's there, and it has the same color scheme. This one added silver for this hook piece, or this ring that's up top. I'm not sure exactly what that represents there, but you see some nice sculpt work inside that neck area there. Now this front piece is done in a nice purple metallic, whereas the back piece, because it looks like, you know, it's a part that's strapped onto a body, that's all the purple metallic, and then this is just a flat purple that's there. It's not a loose piece or anything. They just gave it a layered look, which is pretty cool, and then you got like these straps that are showing it holding in place, and those are actually kind of a separate piece, but then, you know, the figure looks weird underneath if you were to move them. But again, it's not really a removable piece, so you want to keep it on there so nothing happens to it. So you get nice metallic blue there that you have on the wrist gauntlets as well. A new printed screen that's in there. This is different from the original Build-A-Figure. This one has more of the Krang look that everybody seems to be mentioning on Facebook and Instagram. I really like this menacing look that he has to him there. That looks good. The yellow paint is done and applied nicely on here. Again, this is the same piece that we had seen before. Again, it was different color scheme. Now the arms and legs are done in this like yellowish, I don't want to call it gold. So the Hydra Supreme was more of a gold. This is like some kind of yellowish green kind of color. It's just all done in that plastic, so a lot of marbleization throughout the entire thing, and I like the way it looks. I think it came out looking good. Here, the yellow paint on the boots is a little bit sloppy in some areas. You could see some purple coming through there, so you want to be mindful of that. And then you could see that there's some of that purple coming through, so another coat of that yellow paint would have done nicely. This is the yellow paint on here is applied nicely, and then you also get some yellow on the wrists there. So that is the ARNIM ZOLA figure. Now let's take one final look at this 2-pack. Oh, and before I forget, the one additional accessory piece that ARNIM ZOLA comes with is the remote. The original one was all gray, and I think there may have been some red in it, but this one is done in a metallic blue color with hot pink buttons. So Very interesting color choice. Okay, so here is your final look at the 2-pack. Very solid 2-pack, and it seems like Hasbro really does like Hydra, because we had that original Hydra 2-pack and we now have this new Hydra 2-pack, and they're very similar package design, so pretty cool. Again, be very, very careful with your shield, because you don't want to break yours like I broke mine. But awesome set. Again, fan channel exclusive. GameStops will be getting it. As far as any other one else, you're going to have to look towards your local comic shops to be able to pick this up, or go to Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, or whoever. I'll include, again, a link to Entertainment Earth, because they have it in stock now. So that's it. That's my review. Thanks for watching, guys. Sorry I got all flustered with the shield. But if you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up if you guys liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. I'm almost at 5,000, so thank you much. Thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate all the support. And I'll leave you with that. As always, thank you for watching.